Mr. President, take Kharg Island. This war is over. We did Iowa Jima. We can do this. The Marines, my money is always on the Marines.
It's been reported that the U.S. is allegedly gearing up to launch a ground invasion of the Iranian island of Kharg. It's Iran's primary hub for oil exports. And while most people see this as a terrible move, war hawks like Lindsey Graham are egging it on, even if it means sending our servicemen on a potential suicide mission. We've got more, but Cenk, your 2 cents here.
I mean, look, it's so frustrating to debate with these people. If we take Kharg Island, he said, the war is over. Who thinks the war is going to be over once we put in ground troops? Only a dishonest Israeli would say that, and that's who Lindsey Graham, he works for Israel. He's their servant, and he wants to drag us deeper into the war, get more Americans killed, so his benefactors, like the defense contractors and the Israeli government, will get their goals at the expense of the American people. That's why that demonic Lindsey Graham is trying to get more of our guys killed by pushing us into this nonsense. And when he's wrong about that, and it'll be the 200th thing in a row that he's wrong about, will we stop listening to him? Will news anchors say, hey, moron of morons, didn't you say everything like this about Iraq and you were wrong about every single thing you have ever said? So why don't you shut up already, you stupid traitor? Okay, but my guess is our news anchors will be like, oh, that's fantastic, more war for Israel. Thank you, Lindsey Graham. And so far, that's all they've done. And wait, we haven't even gotten to, unfortunately, Trump is of course going to listen to him because he speaks for the Israelis. So you're going to be forced into the slaughter at Kharg Island. So Jordan, tell us about it.
Well, according to the Jerusalem Post yesterday, senior US officials have informed their counterparts in Israel and other nations in recent days that it appears there may be no alternative but for the United States to launch a ground military operation to seize the Iranian island of Kharg, to compel Iran to stop blocking vessel traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. A source told the Post that the military has already accelerated the deployment of thousands of Marines and Navy personnel to the region. The deployment includes the USS Boxer Amphibious Readiness Group, featuring the amphibious assault ship USS Boxer, which functions as a light aircraft carrier alongside the amphibious transport docks USS Portland and USS Comstock. These 3 vessels carry approximately 4,500 Marines and additional combat personnel. Now, Lindsey Graham was thrilled about this during his appearance on Fox News yesterday.
Here's what I tell President Trump. Keep it up for a few more weeks. Take Kharg Island, where all of the resources they have to produce oil. Control that island. Let this regime die on a vine.
Is this going to, though, take Kharg Island? Is it going to involve U.S. troops on the ground? Let me just read you something from the Atlantic. Does an assessment on that. They say U.S. troops may well take Kharg Island. We believe their ability to do so, but only to endure ballistic missile strikes, drone attacks, petrochemical smoke, all without a reliable means of obtaining logistical support. The result could be a grinding war of attrition. They talk about how far away they would be from resupply.
I'm sort of tired of all this armchair quarterbacking. This has been an amazing military operation. God bless the fallen.
But it's a difference when we talk about troops on the ground.
I trust the Marines, not that guy. I trust DOD. We got 2 Marine expeditionary units sailing to this island. We did Iowa Jima. We can do this.
We already know Lindsey Graham has no soul, but that appearance made it evident for some of his Republican colleagues in Washington, including Representative Anna Paulina Luna, who posted to X, I am deeply upset at the lack of respect for life Senator Lindsey Graham is displaying when talking about our troops. He is acting as if they are expendable cattle. This is unacceptable and dark. There were over 26,000 American casualties at Iwo Jima. Now, Iwo Jima is considered one of the bloodiest battles in the Marine Corps history, lasting for 36 days in an effort to take control of the Japanese island during World War II. And yes, while it was an American victory, it was at high cost. Nearly 7,000 Marines were killed, another 20,000 were wounded. So clarification on some of the numbers in that tweet. However, Graham went on to argue taking control of the island would be for Israel's benefit, not America's.
day we control that island, this regime, this terrorist regime, has been weakened. It will die on a vine. And here's what I want to do. I want to get with Chris. I want to sprint to peace. As the war winds down, I want peace to ramp up. The reason we don't have Saudi Arabia and Israel making peace is October the 7th, 2023, Iran through Hamas attacked Israel, stopping normalization. I want to take up and complete what Biden started. As soon as we get Iran defanged so they can never do another October 7th, I want to start up peace talks between Saudi and Israel this year. I want a peace deal between Saudi and Israel, normalizing, ending the Arab-Israeli conflict. It's been going on for 2,000 years this year, and you can't do it with a lethal Iran. So we're weeks away from this Iranian regime not having the capability to stop peace.
The thing is, our servicemen don't want to die for Israel. An anonymous veteran and reservist stated, "I'm hearing out of service members' mouths the words, 'We do not want to die for Israel. We don't want to be political pawns.'" HuffPost spoke to several active duty soldiers, reservists, and advocacy groups, and they're reporting, quote, "vulnerability, overwhelming stress, frustration, and disillusionment to the degree that they may leave the military." Military official who is treating service members evacuated from the Middle East to Landstuhl Regional Medical Center in Germany amid Iran's retaliation said troops are suffering from inadequate force protection and planning, and already reporting a severe destabilizing toll from Iranian ballistic missiles and drones that have been repeatedly striking American military facilities.
You know, when you're building something from the ground up, the to-do list never ends. When I started TYT, it wasn't just what if no one watches, it was also how am I supposed to handle the business side while also creating a show? That's really hard. In those moments, you realize you can't do it alone. You need a real partner. For us, that partner for our Shop TYT store is Shopify. And honestly, I wish I had something like that from day one. They've been a terrific partner for us. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US. That's amazing. And it's built to tackle every single one of those worries that keep you up at night. What if you run out of ideas for your product pages? They've packed the platform with helpful AI tools. You can generate product descriptions, write page headlines, or even enhance your photography with just a few clicks. And my picture needs to be enhanced. It's like having a creative director in your pocket. And of course, what if people get to checkout and change their minds because they have to enter all that information? That's the worst, but Shopify has that iconic purple shop pay button. It's faster, it's trusted, and it's why they have the best converting checkout on the planet. Fewer abandoned carts means more sales actually going through to you. It's time to turn those what ifs into with Shopify today. Sign up for your $1 per month trial today at shopify.com/TYT. Go to shopify.com/TYT. That's shopify.com/TYT.
They added, a ground operation would be an absolute disaster. We don't have a plan for that, the official said earlier this week. We can't even fully defend a single land base in the theater. There's currently 1.3 million military personnel in the United States, and while there's no indication of a mass exodus, troops are looking at other options, including filing to be a conscientious objector, someone who refuses to serve in the armed forces due to moral or religious beliefs. Mike Preisner, the executive director of the Center on Conscience and War, said his group would, in past years, hear from between 50 and 80 troops annually. The month of March has seen a 1,000% increase, he added, saying at least one new service member now contacts the organization daily. On Friday, he wrote on X that his group is handling expedited objector applications by Army, Navy, and Marines personnel who were told they will be deploying this weekend. Cenk?
Yeah, so a number of things here. Lindsey Graham starts with, I mean, we took Iowa Jima, and 26,000 Americans died, but 26,000 Americans is a small price to pay for Israel feeling a tiny bit better about being a global superpower. So, Israel has given Lindsey Graham millions of dollars. Our disgustingly dishonest press says it hasn't affected Lindsey Graham at all. Back here in the real world, We all know that Lindsey Graham works for Israel. And in fact, you don't have to take my word for it. He just told you. We showed you that video and he's like, we have to take Kharg Island because that's gonna help Israel dealing with Iran's threat. And then October 7th about Israel. And then that's gonna help the Saudis make a deal with Israel. And then Israel's gonna get to not keep their occupation and annex. So land, he didn't say that part. But we'll get to Arab-Israel peace deal. Brother, you're the senator from South Carolina, not from Tel Aviv. But he doesn't care. None of our politicians care. The Democrats don't care. The Republicans don't care. They all work for Israel. It's super obvious. What did Biden do? Oh, I am so worried about the Palestinians. Here's $21 billion. Israel, continue to slaughter them. And at American taxpayers' expense. China, we'd like to borrow 21 billion more to pay for Israel's genocide. Shut up, Americans. You're gonna pay for that. Your children are gonna pay the interest. Your grandchildren are gonna pay the interest. Bow to Israel. And so Biden said it, Trump says it, Lindsey Graham says it, everyone on TV says it. So now we're gonna have to go die on Kharg Island for Israel, okay? So that's just baked in. Nothing in the world is gonna stop that. The ships are already on their way. Once they send in the ships to do whatever those guys need to do, what those ships are designed for, they're going to do it. It's not a bluff, it's not a strategy, it's not leverage, okay? And they're bringing in all these ground troops, about 2,500 to 2,200 per ship. 3 different ships are on their way. So of course we're gonna put in ground troops. Israel already ordered it. We don't have a choice. All of our politicians work for them. More on that later. Should people declare themselves conscientious objectors from this war? Of course they should. That's not even close. Muhammad Ali did it with Vietnam. And he said, my religion does not allow me to kill innocent people in Vietnam. That's not just true of Islam, that's also true of Christianity, of course. And by the way, there's also Christians in areas that we bomb. And Christians all over the West Bank, and there were in Gaza until Israel murdered them. There's still a couple left. They bomb churches all the time. But we're all told, no, everybody bow your head to Israel. And we don't care about your stupid religion, whether it's Christianity or Islam. Well, make them care. Your religion does not allow you to prohibit, does not allow you to kill innocent people on the behalf of a different religion, by the way. And by the way, Israel doesn't represent that religion either. They just pretend to represent that religion. So, yeah, this is not close. They're definitely going to force us into ground troops. It's definitely gonna end very poorly. And you'd be nuts to die for Israel. Absolutely nuts. There's zero American interest, none whatsoever here. We already wiped out their nuclear facilities. We already killed their top 49 leaders. We've already decimated their entire military. And they couldn't possibly reach us if they tried. The only way they could possibly reach us is if the Israelis make us bring our troops in as sitting ducks so that they can pound them on Kharg Island or wherever we put them. So when more Americans die, it is 100% because of Israel. And don't you forget that, because if you forget it like you did in the Iraq war, whoa, the media told us, we've learned our lessons from Iraq. Have you? Fake weapons of mass destruction again. And we have to listen to Israel again. We have to do another war, giant war in the Middle East for no goddamn reason, again. What lesson did you learn? You didn't learn a goddamn thing. You work for Israel, man. I'm so sick of everyone in power in this country demanding that every American work for Israel, every ground troop, no, that's it, go die for Israel. You're nuts, no way should you die for Israel. When you sign up for the military of this country, you signed up to protect the United States of America, not any other country. Not Bolivia, not Kazakhstan, not frickin' Israel, okay? And yes, all of our religions prohibit the kind of genocide, death and destruction that Israel continues to demand every single day of us. So of course you should object to the senseless slaughter that Israel is ordering America into. That is obvious.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.